Do you ever wonder why black people are the only demographic that votes 90% for the Democratic Party for the last 70 plus years and still haven't been able to achieve the things that they need to achieve in terms of their neighborhood schools, especially in heavily Democratic areas like DC, Chicago, Detroit, heavily Democratic areas that have the lowest economic opportunities. The education system is crap. Neighborhoods are impoverished. And yet, we still continue to vote 90% more, very faithfully for the last 70 years for the Democratic Party and not get anything out of it. No other demographic is doing this. Not Hispanics, no one. We are. At some point, you got to connect the dots. You see, there is no leverage in voting for the same party every election year after year after year. There's no leverage. It gets to the point where the Democratic Party doesn't even have to put anything on the table to get your vote. And they're always dangling reparations as a carrot, in spite of the fact that at some point they've had control of the executive branch, the legislative branch, everything, and still not able to get reparations passed. Ask yourself, why? Why? When they were able to control all levels of government, still can't put reparations in and pass it. You either know the game or you don't. You either know how to play the game or you don't. You either know how to discern when you're being played or you don't. The fact of the matter is there'll never be a reparations bill, partly because the issue in and of itself is the game plan for the Democratic Party. It is a perpetual issue, and they want to keep it a perpetual issue to get into office. This is among other things that they do to dangle ridiculous things like DEI. And yet, most black people aren't even benefiting from that. DEI is really benefiting every other so-called marginalized group except black people. But black people are the face of DEI.
I was explaining this to people on the Millionaire Morning Show actually yesterday on Friday. And I was explaining to them that the civil rights movement was hijacked by the feminist movement. The feminism movement was then hijacked by the alphabet community movement. And then DEI was leveraged, and that's why birthright citizenship, which was originally created for descendants of slaves, and now it's been left into our and our society, right? Because we're governed by the Constitution, we are a republic, and then it's been left in order to justify letting other people come in and basically finesse the system to become American citizens just because they are born here. And so their parents then become illegal by crossing over into the border, and then they have their children here, and then they try to stay here. And when Trump says, hey, we need to dismantle this thing that wasn't originally supposed to even be used for what is being used for today, people revolted, people got mad about it. And black people is basically the mascots of what's happening today. They're the mascots because they know that you're going to go super hard for something that's not even in your best interest. They know that you can't ask for anything and it's still going to represent you championing and celebrating that you're a part of the 92%. You don't see any other demographic, and justifiably so, ever saying that I'm a part of this percentage of people. They take pride in making sure that they stay on code, regardless of whether or not the party itself is representative of what it is that you need as far as your communities. Communities is destroyed, schools is trash. Chicago, for example, let's just use Chicago because Mayor Brandon Johnson has designated his city, and he is championed, in fact, that they are a sanctuary city. They removed Shot Spotter, which basically alerts police and helps them to be able to solve and fight crime. They spend billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars on illegal migrants to make sure that they're taken care of. And what did they do? They allocated $500,000 as a part of the budget to say, oh, we're going to study for reparations that goes to some random God knows what consulting agency just so they could say, oh, we looked at it, it's not really that big of a deal. They never gonna give you reparations. The fact that you even getting riled up is disrespectful. And then they parade around like they actually celebrating y'all and they say, hey, listen, we got to do this for you. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense.
And you got to wonder why. Connect the dots already. You're a convenient scapegoat. Black people are convenient. I mean, we get a lot of things done in our community, and that's why we're used so much by the Democratic Party. And there's no point listening to people, pundits, and the Al Sharptons of the world, the Congress people, Maxine Waters. Look at each and every one of their districts, like Maxine Waters, Jasmine Crockett, all these upcoming new so-called up-and-coming Congress people and senators. Look into their districts and see how they look. And tell me, are they in it to help their community, or are they in there just to make a lot of money? Like Maxine Waters. For the last 40 years, this woman has been in office, and her district looks like crap. Don't take my word for it. Just go on there and look. For those who come from her district, take a look around and scan your own community and tell me if I'm lying. These people are in office because they're getting paid. They're getting paid to corral black people to vote for the Democratic Party. I don't know how else to explain it. You either know it or you don't. You either see it or you don't. I mean, aren't you getting tired of being used? Don't you understand how to leverage your power? You use both parties to get the things that you want. You don't just blindly vote for the same party every election cycle and expect some kind of change. And the whole time they're making you the face of the struggle and the oppression, and you're getting nothing out of it. I mean, every other group can come in there. The Asians got an anti-hate bill. We couldn't even get that for the last 100 and some years when they were lynching us. The alphabet community was able to get great strides as far as their ability to get the things that they worked for using our blueprint. And yet we're the face of all this, and we haven't gotten anything. These immigrants coming into the country, we're taking resources from black communities, not rich suburban white communities. Figure this out. Connect the dots already. You're being played. You've been played for a long time by the Democratic Party. And you will continue to be played by the Democratic Party if you don't figure this thing out. I mean, a lot of people have talked about this, and yet black people are just, they run on emotion. They don't run on, their ability to see things for the way they are.
And she's 100% right. I always like to give credit to the content creators, so that link is going to be down in the description. Also, on top of that, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off a right, 20% off of life. She's right. We run off of emotion. We don't think logically. When they didn't say diversity, equity, and inclusion, when you're supposed to really leverage it to say, you know what, we got allies over there, we got allies over there, and even though they may not agree with us, let's figure out where we can come together so that we can get our community benefits. They don't do that. They just continue to run in the victim Olympics, whine and complain, and generation after generation after generation, it continuously get worse, and y'all think that this party is actually working on y'all behalf. That's why it's called the Plantation, the Democratic Plantation. Again, let me know what y'all think in the comments. I think that this woman is cooking. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.